Hey, what's going on, guys? As always, hope everyone's doing well. Hope everyone is enjoying their day. Depending on where you're watching the world, whether it's the morning, evening, afternoon, I hope this content finds you blessed. I hope that the material on here today will hopefully motivate you to start your relationship with Jesus or to move, continue to help you, encourage you to continue your walk with Jesus Christ. Also, for those who are new, welcome to the Freedom Fighters channel. And I hope that you can check out our other channels, Breaking Barriers Ministries, um, Rebuilding Community Trust, my wife's channel, Precious Pearl Ministries, and her Facebook page, Encourage. Please check out the material in there. Go ahead and hit the like button. Please share. Turn your notifications on so videos come out that y'all can receive. And hopefully this content on all channels bless you. And always, I'm grateful for those who tune in, those who share, those who listen, watch. Please continue to hit the like button on this video so hopefully the algorithm can spread it to other people that need to hear it. So yesterday, I did a live yesterday, and unfortunately, I'm not sure if YouTube censored it or flagged it or if it's some stuff on my end, but I did a very good live talking about the grace of God and how it applied to my life. So for that purpose, that video, that live was deleted, and it probably wasn't meant to be put out at this time. But I did talk about the grace of God and how we need to be more aware of it, and I highly suggest that people take time to look at what God has done in their lives, in your life, and to give God thanks for His grace and mercy, because in these days, it's going to be needed. I just want to jump on here real quick. I decided to share some stuff the Lord's been sharing with me about the upcoming events. I feel like in my position, I shouldn't be holding stuff for myself only. These are things that are in the news that you can go research for yourself. These are things that people already talking about. But there's things that I don't know if people have been paying attention to and been aware of what's going on. And it's nothing like what I usually talk about. So it's stuff that I highly suggest people to listen and take heed to, because this is going to affect us in our everyday lives coming up very soon. Excuse me for the sniffing a little bit. It's hot here, and allergies are kicking real bad. But I need to put this out because I feel like that the Lord said, and even for just on my heart, just put it like that, it's on my heart that this information should be shared, and whoever takes heed to it, takes heed to it. There's some preparation needed, and I hope that people really sit back and think about what they need to do in the next coming months, or even years, because there are changes going on behind the scenes. Real quick, there's a small dream I want to mention. This is back in, I say maybe a couple months ago. I had a dream about a storm coming over the horizon. I was standing across the way, and it was landmass, and it was just, I seen a gray clouds and wind coming in. And we can say storm means many different things. We can say storm spiritually. We can think storms as good signs, as rain's coming. But in this case, just as I was thinking about what I was going to share, there's a storm coming on the horizon. And storms can bring rain, but also brings a lot of wind, and it can be potential for destructive habits and things of that storm that causes things to be torn apart, depending on what type of storm that is. So many ways and many things we can look at it. But I say that to say this, and that is to prepare. Okay. So for those who don't know, FedNow was launched Thursday of this past week. And those who don't know what FedNow is, it's an instant payment system. And it's designed to get your payments instantly. It's designed to phase out certain aspects of economics. For example, ACH bank transactions, your payments will be instantly deposited in your bank account. There's no wait time. Writing checks are obsolete at this point, because businesses and banks are probably most likely going to opt into this program in order to adopt This is the payment not just for consumers that use the banks and the credit unions, but this is also for businesses to pay employees or to do any type of business transaction. This FedNow policy system is being online, and it's important to understand that because yes, your way of life is going to change for those who for the aspect of money, of payments, refunds, and other types of economic transactions. It's going to change the way things are done. It's going to cause convenience. And we got to understand from a biblical perspective that these things are precursors. These are the beginning of things to come. So right now, it may not be a big deal. It may be, you can brush it off for a season. Or, okay, cool, I get my payments quicker. My paycheck will hit my bank account a lot faster that day. It's conveniences. But it's a subtle introduction into what's going to be coming down the pipeline later. The big picture items that the enemy, I guess we could say the enemy is moving at forward, but just the way that things are being put together, there's subtle ways. You got to remember the enemy's subtle, and when he's subtle, right? It's to the point where you're not going to notice change. You're not going to able to. It's going to be convenient. It's going to be easy to adapt to. Excuse me. And you're not going to really notice major, blatant changes. But once the rollout's continuing, then you're going to move into something called CBDC. And other countries are looking into this, and some are actually test piloting these CBDCs. If you don't know what CBDC stands for, central banking digital currency. There are some countries right now they're using gold and silver to back these types of CBDCs. I know Zimbabwe and I know China is doing some testing for it. But there's BRICS. If you don't understand what BRICS is, that's a partnership between other nations to create their own currencies, whether it's paper currency right now or CBDC. The issues with CBDC is that it's going to cause control, and it's going to cause a manipulation of the freedoms of being able to do what we want to do as of life as we know it, in regards to how we spend our money, how do we purchase goods and services, how does that affect us when it comes to banking transactions and when it comes to our day-to-day living in regards to freedom to go purchase whenever and whatever. You got to look back in the day, right? You got checks, you have cash, you have checks when you used to write a check, paper check. Then you move into credit cards and debit cards, and then you're going into chips. In regards to chipping, on your debit card or your credit card, you have a chip on there, and then you're going to have eventually you got the tap feature. If you already know that some of the it's like a little I don't know what to call it, but it's like a volume icon. If you look on your card, it has those three arcs, one large, one middle, one small. If you kind of get what I'm saying, on your cards, that's your tap feature. So if you have certain stores and certain businesses that accept the tap feature, you can go in. Most grocery stores, your drug stores, most places now are accepting the tap feature on their the cashing out machines. I'm just gonna call them cash registers. So when you do that, you see the transition of things to come. CBDCs is going to allow it to be digital only. That's the aspect of money being no longer cash. When I mean cash, fiat. That's your actual paper bills. That's going to be obsolete. Another dream that I had 3 or 4 weeks ago, and I'm just gonna give you a little spurts of it because it's the stuff that's been stacking over the last couple of months. I've been having a lot of different dreams of different things to come, and I haven't really been sharing it. It's been building, so I have tons and tons of dreams of things, and the Lord's been showing me about what's to come. And it was a dream where in this neighborhood or this area where like a store, I seen like paper money just thrown in trash cans. Paper money was just thrown in trash cans, $100 bills, $20 bills, $50 bills, and they were thrown in these trash cans, and they were just normal paper. People would try to get these bills, and they would try to turn them in to convert, but they didn't have any value. And they didn't have any value, and it was a season where people were able to turn these bills in to convert over to something that's going to be of value, but a lot of times that money wasn't worth anything. So for that part of the dream I've had, it shows the value is going to, for the dollars decreasing. It shows that, and that's in the news too as well, the de-dollarization of the American dollar is decreasing to where eventually it's not going to, the paper is not going to mean anything. So how does that apply to us? How does that apply to the everyday person? How does that apply for us as believers? How does that apply for those in the world, right? If you start looking into the book of Revelations, chapter 13 specifically, but we start reading the book of Revelations, you're going to start seeing things unfold. You're going to start seeing, I think it's in Matthew where it says wars and rumors of wars. You're going to see all types of different famines and pestilences. You're going to see things change. And you're going to see people at work trying to bring stuff in. You're going to start seeing plans being enforced and laws being changed. And eventually, it's going to be control implemented on the people worldwide. And it's going to affect how we do things day to day. When we go to the mark of the beast, when we start going to the chipping, Neuralink, you start looking into these things when it comes to chipping and cloning, right? And you're seeing demonic forces and all these different types of things moving along. It's going to be a point where this mark of the beast or the chip is going to be a thing. What do you do when you're faced to get chipped? When we think about FedNow, right? Most organizations are going to adopt this. Major government organizations, they're going to be made to adopt this program. All right, and they're going to be able to implement this change to where your paychecks will be instant, and people are going to accept it, right? They're going to say, "Oh, cool, I get my paycheck faster." Then not a lot of people are going to reject FedNow right now in the early stages, because people is selling you the opportunity to say instant payments. Instead of going through Zelle and going through Venmo and PayPal and Cash App, instant payments. I get my paycheck right now, deposited. For business, it's attractive because then I can pay my customers and pay my workers, my employees faster. So people's gonna adopt to this program, and it's a step into moving into the prophecy of what the Bible is saying. It's going to eventually lead to the aspect of chip. It's going to be more subtleties and more things being put out. This is the benefit. Why would you not take this? Why would you not do this? Because it's going to make your life even more convenient and faster. We talk about the great falling away. This is the time, and I mentioned this on my live yesterday. Unfortunately, again, it's deleted. But what I said is that this is the time to have the grace of God to lead you to discernment. Because if you're conditioned to this life, if you're not walking with the Lord, if you're not seeking Him with your whole heart, if you're not allowing the Holy Spirit to reveal, if you don't have that really close relationship with the Lord, and you're not praying, and you're not really seeking Him, not only just in His Word, but in your private time. If you're not, asking the Lord, what's the next step? How do I prepare for this implementation? If you're just going with the flow and you have a certain quality of lifestyle, I get to go to the store when I want. My bills are paid. I got my car payment. I got my this. I got my that. I'm able to live a certain quality of life. If you're not thinking and seeking ahead, how do I prepare for what's to come? I believe, and I truly believe this, and it's going to be believers included. This is how you know if you're following the word, if you're at a point to where I'm looking towards the hills, I'm looking towards heaven, I'm looking towards the eternal aspect of this life. Because when this mark comes, when this opportunity to say, hey, I worked all these hours, this is my paycheck. But in order to access this paycheck, I got to be able to take this mark, this chip. In order to get my money now, because you guys think about it. Checks, paper money, debit or credit cards with chips, and then tap feature. Now we know the next step after this is going to be elimination of cards altogether. If you do the chip, sometimes the chips are starting to act up too. In certain places, if you go, I noticed I've seen it. where if you insert your chip into the cash register to pay for your purchase or whatever you're going to do, sometimes there may be errors. Sometimes, even with the tap feature, some people are not safe with that because of the security aspect to tapping your card, which is the chip and still is included, but you're tapping the card on that register or that device, and it's taking your payment information, or it's already taking the money out your account. You don't even need to put the pin in sometimes. Sometimes, if you notice, if you just tap your card on that machine, it automatically takes your payment. You don't even need to put your PIN number in. That's going to be eliminated. So after that, when we start moving into digital currency, then it's going to be strictly digital. You cannot put the money in the shoebox no more. You're not going to be able to put your money in the envelope or stack it up and take it to the bank because now everything's digital. So when it comes down to these types of things, what is your mindset? Because it's going to be interesting to see when this stuff is rolled out full time. And you're going to see a lot of people that are going to be like, man, how I'm going to provide for my family, how I'm going to do this for my kids, how I'm going to live this way of life. And I'm going to make a decision to either reject what the plan that's been laid out. I'm going to stand for righteousness, and it says bow to this God, or bow to the government, or bow to whatever, this agenda or this political move. And if not, I'll take your money away, or I don't give you access to these funds or give you access to these goods and services. What decision you're going to make? Now, when it comes to talks of certain states understanding federal government and state government, understanding different branches, understanding your setup of how this country is, there's maybe some pushback, right? There's people pushing back against the CBDC implementation. People are pushing back against having the money control, the Second Amendment and the Fourth Amendment, and there's freedom of speech and freedom to bear arms and freedom to live this life as an American. And we're just talking strictly here because other countries have different rules, right? Different parliaments, different bills of rights, or different codes of conduct and stuff like that. There's different everywhere you go. But I'm talking about strictly here in America, that ability to live free. Once that's infringed upon on, you're going to see chaos. You're going to see people pushed against it. You're going to see division. You're already seeing it now, but you're going to see major division on a large, wide scale, to where states are going to secede or separate from the federal government. You're going to see people going against. You're going to see military. You're going to see federal government implementing certain things. You're going to see a lot of moving parts. So at this point, okay, you got to decide now. How do I prepare for these things? People talking about, I told people before on my other channel, but I'm saying it here. Get gold and silver. Bullion, gold and silver, right? Because even with this, and this is going to be a time where they're going to regulate having the gold and the physical gold and silver into your hand. But purchase gold and silver, because this is how you're going to, the Lord spoke to me about a barter system. A barter system to where you're going to be able to barter and try to get goods and services. You're going to have to research. You're going to have to see how this works out. And this is why, again, having a relationship with the Lord is so prominent in this time, because he was going to give you the tools to be able to navigate this system, to navigate to where I don't have to be a part of what this plan is going to be. I don't have to be a part of if it came down to me getting chipped in my right hand on my forehead, just like it says in Revelation 13 and 14, then I know I have a plan, because you're going to have to deny it. You cannot take part in what the government is doing, or what the beast is doing, or what the system is doing, and still walk with God at the same time. You're gonna have to make a decision and say, I choose God, or I'm gonna choose the world. This is really gonna be interesting when it is, like I said before, where people are gonna be lined up. I'm gonna choose God, I'm gonna choose the world. I'm gonna choose God, I'm gonna choose the world. That is, it's the narrow gate and the broad gate. It's not gonna be in between. You can't straddle the fence, because they're gonna be rules cut and clear. And you either gonna go this way or you're gonna go the other way. So how do you make moves? Preparing now. While you still have the freedom to do what you need to do, prepare now. Go back to the basics. Gardening, planting seeds, gold and silver. If you're into the crypto game, make sure you know how to play that game well. Make sure you get what you need, because eventually that's going to be regulated. Preparing now, getting to canning and preserving, getting into certain things to where you can prepare, because you got to secure certain things before it happens, because they're going to have access to all these things. Secure your food source. So if you can secure land, secure land. If you can secure a financial means to do it. And this is important, because it ain't gonna take too much longer. It ain't gonna be something that takes years from now. We potentially looking at 7 years or less for this stuff gets implemented, if it's even done before then. It could be any time. They just did FedNow last week. So don't sit here and think, oh, I got time. Think about your plan. First of all, seek the Lord and ask the Lord to seek you. If you have a relationship with the Lord, seek him and ask him, how do I move in the season? He knows the answers. He knows how to set things in motion in regards to this. He knows how to start putting things in motion. And see, I want to say this, and I know I might be stepping into a little bit of murky territory when I say this. Yes, God is going to keep the righteous. Yes, God is going to protect us and make sure we have. There's biblical examples of where God is going to keep the righteous and provide, and we shouldn't be anxious for nothing. I'm not saying these things to put fear, because God didn't give us a spirit of fear, but power, love, and a sound mind. Okay, this is not to scare you. Especially if you already got the revelation now, to start preparing now. Do your research. Look up what a CBDC is. Look up what's the move in regards to what people are doing. Look up when these nations meet and when these conferences and summits meet, so you can get an idea of what's going on. Find people that are already that research this stuff day to day. Ask the Lord to send people that's showing you, so you can start preparing, so you can have knowledge and wisdom to move. But what I will say, I believe God is a God of preparation. And there's things that we're going to have to do to get ourselves in a position. Yes, the Lord will keep us. Yes, we can pray. We can believe the word, in which we should. Definitely believe in the word. I'm not saying don't believe in the word. I'm not saying you don't speak the word, because all those things are spiritual laws and principles. But there is a preparation and there's an action. Faith without works is dead. So you can have the believing and the faith, but you got to put the action to it. So if you got the revelation to prepare, and I'm talking to myself too, because I have the revelation, so I have to put things in motion and starting to move in certain areas and do certain things and make certain investments to start preparing for this time, when this time comes. Because when it comes, it's too late when they roll it out. When they say do it, check, money, chip, or nothing, that's too late. The time is today. A plan is start planning today to put things in perspective, so you can start making moves and doing what you got to do. Another interesting thing too that I noticed, and I want to say this too, and it was I was talking to my wife about it. The food that you're eating, right? Be mindful of what you eat. I think it's last month, I think, or maybe a little bit sometime this month or last month. FDA approved lab grown meats. Lab grown meats are what they put in the test tube. It's like, you put something in the lab and they clone it, or they make it from a test tube or some type of lab or scientific cell cloning of cells and stuff like that for meat. So when it comes to that, you gotta be mindful what you put in your body. I believe some of these fast food joints are already doing it. I had something the other day from Popeyes, and I mean, it is what it is. I hope that, you can say what they want to say about it, but I had something. I'm saying, have wisdom in what you're eating. But when I ate from a specific Popeyes, that chicken it didn't look too good. It wasn't the normal. I seen chicken tenders, or the chicken tenders and the red beans and rice and a biscuit. But when I saw them chicken tenders, and I seen when I do chicken tenders at home, when you bread it and you cut it a certain way to fillet the chicken and you make sure it's good to go, even though you may not know what it is. But I seen the chicken, and the chicken it tasted just a little taste, right? And it didn't taste good. It didn't look good. So be mindful of what you're eating. what you put in your body, because a lot of people may not, the companies may not tell you that this is lab grown meat. They just may put it on the shelf and you buy it. Okay, so be mindful of what you put in your body. This is why, again, we got to get into preservation and gardening, getting back to the basics. Fresh food, fresh vegetables, and vegetables are not exempt. They're lab-grown vegetables, lab-grown meats, corn, and certain vegetables are lab-grown. Soy products, they're lab-grown. So it's not just meat by itself. You notice in certain stores, they're shortening some of the products. They're putting their stuff in bags and candy, or even when it comes to cereal or chip products, potato chip products, they're putting less in the bag. They're making it to like a powder, and they're stacking it and packing it and selling it in stores. So you got to be mindful of what we're buying. All is to say to this: start preparing, seeking the Lord. First step, seeking the Lord first. Get in your prayer closet, okay? Ask the Lord, what's my plan? What should I do? Who to connect with? What should I invest in? What way I should take? Okay? Really understanding what I said about grace. The grace of God this season. His grace is on our lives. And it's going to be a time, His grace is still with us. But I always say, take advantage of what's going on today. Take advantage of what is being said. And I'm not sure if churches are talking about this. I'm not sure who's doing what. If people are not bringing this stuff up. But if somebody's talking about these things, I suggest you research, pray, and research. Research and go to these websites and go into whoever's talking about it, YouTube, look it up. Because you don't want to be the last person waiting. And I know a lot of people may not hear me. A lot of people maybe 2-3 views or whatever the case may be. Whoever hears this, I hope that it blesses you. But a lot of people may blow this off. A lot of people may just say, whatever. I'll deal with it when it comes, or I will. It's not that serious, or oh, you BSing. I heard the CBDC may not come for 2, 3, 4 years. But I believe in my heart that this is a precursor to things to come. And the enemy's plan is so subtle, and like I said this earlier, because he wants people to have convenience. He wants people to say, okay, instant payments, cool. He wants the convenience. He wanted to make it where it's a sweet package deal. And what it does to the heart, and this is why you also got to pray about your heart, because what is my heart on? Is my heart on the things of this world? And yes, we got to live. Yes, we got to have a place to stay. If we got children, we got to make sure they're provided for. Yes, we got to have food on the table. I'm not saying that this isn't important. But is it important enough to where I won't do my own research? I won't go to the Lord about it. I won't get into preparation mode. And that's what I'm saying, because these things are important. Yes, I got to have a place to stay. But what if your heart's conditioned to where I'd rather take a mark so I can continue my way of living, or I'd rather prepare and research and pray and get into the right mindset, so that not only am I prepared to deal with the things, the changes, but I also won't be deceived, and I won't, fall into the trap of taking something that the Bible says clearly don't take. So it's a heart condition. It's a heart posture to think about the things of this life and say, okay, what is more important? Is it important to, I'm just going to take a mark and be done with it? If somebody comes out with this is the problem, this is the solution, this is going to fix all issues, and we even talking about when it comes to the chipping, when it comes to transgenderism, where they incorporate certain things. Cancer's cured. This disorder is cured by me taking this chip too, or taking this nanotech or whatever. And people want to say, yeah, I'm gonna take it because I want to be healed. I don't want to deal with this no more. And instead of you going to the Lord who heals all, that I'd rather take this mark, this chip, or this solution, and it makes you, and it changes motions, changes mindset. It's so many stories of people that got revelation of this, and they're talking about these different things, some more in detail. But what do you do when you're faced with this decision? So I'm not planning on being home. I'm in it there. I just hope that somehow this word will bless you, that will get you to think, to research, to have a mind and a heart posture to hear what the Lord is saying to you, because he's open to giving you the secrets and the things to come. I pray for those who are not saved, that they turn their lives to Christ. Hear the gospel and the good news. The grace of God is allowing you to give you that time, affording you that time to be able to turn to him. In the midst of your sins, in the midst of what you're doing, the grace of God is allowing you, if you're still here breathing on earth, God is allowing you to turn to him. It don't matter the problems you're facing. It don't matter if you're sick. It doesn't matter whatever is going on in your life. He is still available to you today. And it's your choice to receive his salvation, his love, and to be able to be in the fold, to walk with Christ. I hope that people are prepared. I hope people are prepared to what's to come. And I always say, and I say it on all my videos, every video I'm gonna say the same thing, just to make sure you understand. When people get to this place and they get into this posture to where they got to make a decision, such as taking this mark or doing this for the everyday living, when you realize if it's revealed from someone else, or it's revealed on a video or radio broadcast or TikTok, whatever it is during that time, and you realize that you should have taken the time to seek the Lord and prep and prepare, and you took something that you can't, because once you take the mark, it's irreversible. You are marked for the enemy. You are marked for the enemy, and then you're going to burn in hell with him too. I'm sorry, I don't want to be that graphic, but that's the truth. When you take the mark, you are marked for the enemy. And when you realize, you're going to say two things. You're going to say, I didn't know, or I knew but I didn't pay attention, or I knew and I didn't care, or I put no value in what was said. This is a warning. This is a word that hopefully will stir your heart and get you to go and start preparing. Start looking into what you need to do for you and your family, or if you're single or whatever the case may be. Start preparing now. Don't just know about it. Prepare. So when things come, you can be ready to adjust and adapt to the new life. Not just as a believer, as a one man or woman of Christ, but also as a person, or as an American, or as a resident of another country. If you're listening from across the abroad, you're gonna have to prepare. As whatever citizen you are, prepare and start getting yourself in line. And I might go back on here some point later and talk about how what the Lord has shown me about how it's going to be when this time comes, and how we may need to move as believers, and how we may need to come into community and start doing a barter system. But we have to prepare first. So don't just blow this off and just say whatever is blah 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 blah. And even with that, people are going to do that. And I've learned as I've been doing this, putting out videos, or just prayer. The book Isaiah shows it as well, that people are going to be hard-hearted to the words of what people are saying. They're going to be hard-hearted to the watchmen. They're going to be hard-hearted to the prophets. They're going to be hard-hearted to the pastors. They're going to receive and they're going to reject. Receive and reject. There are some they're going to receive and take it, just like the parable of the sower. Seed falls on hardened grounds. Seed falls on fertile ground. Some seed falls on certain ground where the thorns choke it out because of the things and the cares of life in this world. So what people come out their mouth and what the Lord put on their heart to say, that's Holy Spirit inspired. That they're telling you, they're warning you, telling you, hey, this is coming, or this is potential, or prepare, and you're not doing it. And also for believers, intercession. We can slow down what the enemy's trying to do. We can stop the enemy what he's trying to do. We can do have a different outcome. But intercession. So as we're preparing, make sure we're praying too, and we're interceding for those who may reject it or may not hear this word. That something or someone will reach them and say, start getting ready. Start getting ready to what's the adjustments are going to be. That word ready, I keep saying, I'm saying ready a lot in my videos. Start getting ready. That word ready is going to be a word that you're going to hear a lot. Being ready, being in position. So that's all I have. Hope y'all blessed. Again, share, subscribe, like button, prayer, comments for prayer or prayer requests. Leave them in the comments as always. And I just hope y'all have a blessed one. I hope that you, again, pray and research and prepare. Pray, research, and prepare. Those are 3 words. You don't take nothing else from what I just said. Pray, research, and prepare. All right? Y'all have a blessed one.